Hey G Squad, welcome to that episode of Is It Worth It? So today's episode we got this cool Miss right here, and basically what this is a Japanese barbecue sauce. So you see the one that we got right here is from this brand. And if you guys remember in the past, I reviewed a few other flavors, which are original and also the hot and spicy version. But I saw that they had a Yuzu version, so I want to test it out to see what the difference is between this one, which is hot and spicy, and the original flavor. So if you guys are curious about what I'm talking about for the other flavors, let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here we do have the original flavor, and this one tastes really good. So when you guys use this one, you definitely get all of that like very sweet kind of Japanese barbecue sauce flavor on here. Where for this one, the hot and spicy one, you also get that flavor, but you don't get as much of that like Japanese barbecue sauce. You get a little bit more of a kick or spice to it. So if you guys like spicy food, this is a better option to go for. And then like I mentioned, this time we do have the Yuzu flavor. So if you guys are a fan of Yuzu, you definitely want to check it out. I myself haven't tried it yet, but I do like Yuzu, so that is why I purchased this one right here to test it out. And the cool thing about all three of these sauces right here, you guys can definitely use it however you guys want to. So whether you use it for like your rice, your noodles, your seafood, your meat, your veggies, or whatever, you guys can definitely use it any way you guys want to. But that is everything that's on the product. Now let me actually open this one to show you guys what the product looks like when you guys actually use it. And kind of like taste test it to see what it actually tastes like compared to the other two. And then we'll come back and talk more about it in a second. Alright, so right here we have all three of the sauce that I was talking about. The hot and spicy, the original, and the Yuzu flavor. So I'm actually opening up the Yuzu first to test it out to see what it should taste like. So you can see when you guys open the cap, it's all nicely sealed up. So when you guys do purchase it, you guys want to make sure it's sealed, because if it's not sealed, you don't want to use it. But let's open this up to show you guys what the inside looks like before we pour it out. Alright, so once you guys open up, this is what the inside looks like. So when you look at the inside of the bottle of the sauce and everything, it basically looks the same as these other sauce. But once you guys open it, you can definitely smell like that very sweet kind of flavor for the Japanese barbecue flavor. But you also smell like that Yuzu flavor on here as well. But let's put that on the cap and then we'll pour some out to test it out. So I'm going to be testing out on this dim sum that we have right here. So before you guys pour it out, you definitely want to shake the bottle, because you guys want to make sure the sauce is all mixed up first. So let's shake the bottle first. Alright, so that should be good. Let's pour some on top. So I'm gonna pour some over here. Alright, so that should be good. Now let's test it out to see what it should taste like. Alright, so we got our dim sum right here. Let's try it out. So after tasting the flavor on here, it definitely tastes pretty good. You definitely taste like that Japanese barbecue flavor on here from the original flavor. But you also get that very slight kind of Yuzu flavor on here as well. Let me pour a little bit more on top. Yeah, you only get just a little bit of a Yuzu flavor. You get a lot more of that Japanese barbecue flavor from the original flavor, but you still don't get as much compared to like the original flavor, which is this one right here. But now let me just pour some from the hot and spicy to see what that tastes like first. So same thing for this one, you guys want to shake it. Alright, let's pour some out. Let's pour it just on top. And now let's try it out. So when you guys try the hot and spicy one, it definitely tastes a lot better than the Yuzu one. You get way more of that Japanese barbecue sauce, but you can also get that very strong kick on here. Where for the Yuzu, you only get like a little bit of the Yuzu flavor, and you do get a little bit of Japanese barbecue sauce. But the flavor of the Yuzu is not that strong compared to the hot and spicy one. And like I mentioned, when you guys try like the original flavor, that one has like the most Japanese barbecue flavor, which is original flavor. So I'm actually pour some out to show you guys what I mean. So same thing for this one, we're gonna shake it. And one thing to remember about all these bottles right here is the fact that they actually come in different packs and different size. Some of them has like 1, some of them has 2 packs, some of them has 3 packs, etc. And if you guys notice the one that I got right here for the original flavor, this one's 34 ounce, but they have this available in like a 17 ounce, 16 ounce, etc. But just pour some out to show you guys what it looks like. Alright, just pour some on top. That should be good. So when you guys try all three of these bottles, I feel like this one still has like the most flavor in terms of the original flavor. And then when you guys try the Yuzu, there's not much flavor of like the Yuzu flavor or whatever, but definitely still has that Japanese barbecue flavor, but not as much compared to like the hot and spicy, and not as much compared to like the original flavor as well. But if I had to rank all three of these in terms of my favorite to the least favorite, I still have to say that this one right here is still number 1 for me, because you guys get a lot more of that Japanese barbecue flavor. Number 2 would be hot and spicy, because you guys still get like that Japanese barbecue flavor, but you get that kick, which is really cool, especially if you guys like spicy food. And then for the Yuzu, I would definitely have to rank that last, because I feel like you don't get too much of that Yuzu flavor and not that much of the Japanese barbecue flavor, because of the Yuzu flavor that kind of infused a little bit more. Like I mentioned, regardless of which I get, they are pretty worth it for all of them. It's just that each one of them has a little bit of specialty in it, like a little bit of kick of spice and a little bit of yuzu or just nothing on it. Welcome back, guys. So next up, quick test the product. You can definitely see it actually tastes pretty good. When you guys taste the one of the yuzu, it definitely tastes really good. It has a little bit of like a sour taste to it because of the yuzu flavor, but you also get like that sweetness because of the Japanese barbecue flavor. So for me, when I compare all three of these different sauces on here, the original versus the hot and spicy versus the yuzu flavor, all of them, like I mentioned, it is pretty good. But if I had to pick one, I think I still have to stick with the original because you guys get so much of that original flavor on here. Whereas for the hot and spicy, like I mentioned, you get a little bit more of a kick to it and less of the Japanese barbecue sauce. And for the yuzu, you also lose like that original like Japanese barbecue flavor. But it definitely tastes a little bit more of that yuzu flavor, which is definitely pretty cool, especially if you guys are trying to look for like a yuzu Japanese barbecue flavor sauce. And there's just something about like the yuzu flavor that goes really well with like seafood or meat and etc. So however you guys want to use it, that is up to you guys. But all three of these flavors are actually pretty good. So that is everything that's on the product. Now to get unboxing and testing the product. Now to answer the question of whether or not it's actually worth it or not. So for all three of these sauces, like I mentioned, it is pretty worth it if you got one or need one of these. Especially if you gotta try and look for a high quality Japanese barbecue flavored sauce that also has a little bit of sweetness on there. Then I do have to say that is pretty worth it. But then obviously for those guys who don't want or don't need one or having one of these, then obviously don't buy one and save your money for something else that you do need. So that's basically everything for this video itself. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button in the bottom. That will definitely help this video out, and it will definitely help with the algorithm as well to promote more videos for you guys so you guys can see more of the videos or similar videos as well. But as always, make sure to stay positive, be you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Is It Worth It? Peace.